Good morning. It's Catherine here from Sacred Heart Alchemy and Divinely Inspired Feminine Leaders. So here we find ourselves in the middle of February, right? 6 weeks into 2021 already. It feels hard to believe. It feels like it sort of went like a snap, right? So I'm kind of curious for those of you who did the Burning Bowl ceremony with me, and maybe for those of you who just spent some time on your own thinking about your intentions, creating some goals for yourself for 2021, how you're doing with all of that. Coming out of 2020, obviously a rough year in so many ways. And while we continue with some of that energy, the truth is we're in a whole new energy now in 2021. And there's so much possibility and potential for us in this new year to really dive deep, to clear out the things that maybe have been in our way for a very long time, and to really make some massive movement in this year. That for me, the energy has been phenomenal. And I want to talk to you about that because, traditionally by 6 weeks in, actually 3 or 4 weeks in, about 25% of the people who sort of set intentions or New Year's resolutions have kind of let them fall by the wayside. And by the middle of February, that number, is even. Sorry, my auto car place was just trying to call in the middle of that. I'm not sure why. So, here we are in the middle of February, and many people may already either have sort of let their intentions or their goals or their resolutions, whatever words you use, fall on the wayside, or maybe they haven't even gotten started yet, right? Maybe they've sort of taken themselves out of the game before they even got in the game. So, historically, I think it's pretty common to sort of look at or blame or point the finger at outside circumstances when we're not doing the things in our lives that we say we would like to do, right? We don't have the time. Everybody else is calling for our attention. Maybe we don't have the money. We don't have the support. Whatever the reasons are, we look at the external circumstances for the reasons that we're not making forward movement or progress on the things that we have identified that we really want to do or change in this coming year. But the truth is, it's less about the external circumstances and really more about our own inner game that gets in the way of us successfully moving forward, taking inspired action, and eventually completing, the goals or the intentions that we have for ourselves. The things that take us out, sometimes even before we get started, are the things that are internal to us, right? What I call sort of our goal busters are internal, not necessarily external. Things like fear of rejection, perfectionism, limiting beliefs, lack of clarity or focus. Those are all part of our inner game. So what if you could deal with your inner game and be able to look back at the end of this year of 2021 and have made some really significant changes in your life, have made some progress on some things that you've been saying you've wanted for a very long time? How would that feel for you? This brings up this memory of, running my first and only marathon, which I had, sort of in my mid-20s probably thought about, oh, wouldn't that be a really cool thing to do, right? And maybe thought about it off and on over the years. But, mid-20s, I was married. I was, in my career. In my early 30s, I started having children and had kids through my 30s. And so while it was sort of there in the back of my mind, And I was continuing to run during those times. It wasn't really a priority for me. It was something that I knew I wanted to do, but it wasn't sort of on the front burner, if you will. And then at a certain point, it was just the right time. My youngest started kindergarten, so all of my kids were in school. I was primarily working evenings, late afternoons and evenings as a therapist. I had met a new friend who was doing half and full marathons for the Leukemia Society, because her youngest child had been diagnosed with leukemia at age 3, and she was a runner. So she used her love for running and her passion for trying to help her daughter to raise money through the leukemia team in training. So all of a sudden, these pieces started coming together for me, and I thought, this is the time. If I'm going to do this, I was 43, or I was 42 when I made the decision. If I'm going to run a marathon in my lifetime, this is sort of do or die time, right? And so I started thinking about, all right, how am I going to, set this up so that I can have the most sort of guarantee of success. When you're talking about running 26 miles, really anything can happen, and training, to run that distance. And so I couldn't control all of the external circumstances, but what I could control in my life were certain things like making the commitment public. So I also joined the leukemia team in training so that I would have a trainer, so that I would have a group of people to run with and hold me accountable, so that as a fundraiser, I was asking people to support me. So I had a commitment to people other than myself. I had to change my schedule because, truth be told, I am not a morning person. But with 3 kids and an afternoon and evening job, really the only time that I had to run was very early morning. So I enrolled my neighbor who was a morning person. And she was not a long distance runner, but she ran enough so that we could do our weekly mileage together. And I knew if Joanne was standing at my driveway at 5:30 in the morning, I would be up and ready to join her, where if I had left it to myself, right, to be up and out at 5:30, I might very well have rolled over and pulled the covers back over my head. Even though I typically, when I commit to something, I generally follow through, but that was going to be rough for me. So I had to change my sleep patterns. I had to change my eat patterns. I went to bed earlier. I dropped certain things from my diet. And I really, really committed to a plan that would ensure my success. And one of the biggest pieces of that was having support, the coaching and the accountability and the support of the other people who were running that marathon, doing that marathon training along with me. So with that in mind, going back to this idea of where are you in terms of your intentions for 2021, I want you to keep your eyes open, because there's something coming, an offer that I'm going to put out, which I'm really excited about, to help you get more focused, deal with those that sort of inner game, the mindset, the limiting beliefs, and create some support, community support around helping you reach the goals that you've set for yourself for 2021, whether they're very personal goals, having to do with relationship, or your relationship to your eating and your weight and your body, or whether it's around finances or health, or having more fun in your life, or maybe a big goal, building a business, leaving a job, jumping into entrepreneurship. So many possibilities right now that we're on the cusp of, really, as we shift this energy into 2021. So many things have changed because of COVID, because of just everything that happened in 2020. It's a great time really to look inward. All of the support is here for us to start to do the deep inner work, look at and break through the mindset and the limiting belief things that are there and maybe getting in your way. So I think that's all I'm going to say for now. Keep your eyes open. I will be posting about this offer very soon, and I hope that you're excited about it, because I'm excited about it. So have a beautiful day, and I'll see you again soon. All right, bye-bye.